The Pittsburgh Post-Gazette's Jerry Dulac predicted Pittsburgh Steelers rookie quarterback Will Howard to begin the 2025 NFL season on injured reserve. There was so much excitement about the potential Will Howard might show as a sixth-round rookie for the Pittsburgh Steelers. But Howard missed the preseason because of a hand injury. Then in his place, his former college teammate, quarterback Skylar Thompson, played well. For that reason, the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette's Jerry Dulac argued Howard might not dress at all during his rookie campaign. Dulac predicted Friday that the Steelers will place Howard on injured reserve for Week 1. That will require Howard to spend the first 4 weeks of the season on IR. But with the quarterback not expected to play during his rookie campaign, there's little reason for the Steelers to rush him back. Dulac also predicted that in the meantime, the Steelers will move forward with Thompson as their QB3 behind Aaron Rodgers and Mason Rudolph. Thompson has earned the right to be the backup to Aaron Rodgers and Mason Rudolph after he finished the preseason with another impressive performance Thursday night against the Carolina Panthers, wrote Dulac. But it will also allow the Steelers to place rookie Will Howard on the reserve injured list to start the season and not worry about leaving him unprotected. Howard would have to stay on IR for at least 4 games, but it would not be unreasonable if he remained there for the entire season. Both Thompson and Howard joined the Steelers this offseason. The Steelers signed Thompson to a futures contract in January. Then, in the 2025 NFL Draft, the team drafted Howard at number 185 overall in the 6th round. Steelers value NFL experience QB Skylar Thompson has. Pundits viewed Howard as the team's fun developmental quarterback project prior to his hand injury on August 5th. Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin held out hope Howard could make his debut in Week 3 of the preseason. But that didn't happen. Instead, Thompson shined with a more extended opportunity. On Thursday against the Carolina Panthers, he completed 11 of 13 passes for 152 yards and a touchdown. Thompson averaged 11.7 yards per attempt. More than anything, though, Thompson's play worked as a reminder of the experience that he has, which Howard doesn't. Tomlin suggested in his post-game press conference Thursday that the Steelers value that trade in Thompson. He's got playing experience, Tomlin said. This guy started games in Miami, and I think that experience shows. We're talking regular season games. Thompson started 3 games with the Miami Dolphins and appeared in 7 other games over 3 seasons. He also started a playoff game in January 2023. Will Howard to face redshirt rookie season? If Thompson hadn't played well, then the Steelers probably wouldn't be as motivated to place Howard on injured reserve to begin the season. But since he did, the move is a bit of a no-brainer. Placing Howard on IR allows the Steelers a quarterback roster spot for Thompson. Essentially, the team can keep all 4 signal callers with Howard on IR. Teams are allowed to place 2 players on IR before rosters are pared to 53 players. Those moves have to be made on the day of final cuts, which is Tuesday. Howard, who has a fractured bone in his throwing hand, is the perfect candidate, wrote Dulac. Landing on IR, though, isn't the best for Howard's immediate future. He won't be able to practice with the team even if his hand heals before the end of Week 4. If Rodgers, Rudolph, and Thompson are all healthy and playing well entering Week 5, there's little motivation for the Steelers to activate Howard. Getting the quarterback practice reps is probably the top reason to activate him. But QB3s don't typically get a lot of snaps at practice. For Howard to continue his hype train into the regular season, he needed to receive a lot of preseason playing time and excel. Not playing at all was very unfortunate because now Howard faces the possibility of not dressing at all as a rookie. By the time he gets the opportunity to dress, the Steelers may have added another new quarterback in the 2026 draft. Ever since the Pittsburgh Steelers made the decision to trade former top receiver George Pickens to the Dallas Cowboys, the biggest question mark on the roster has been who DK Metcalf's running mate will be this season. With no firmly established players behind their prized offseason addition, many expected to see another trade or signing to bolster the room. Instead, the preseason performance of both young and veteran receivers has given fans something to be hopeful about. With Calvin Austin III nursing an injury for most of the summer, players like Roman Wilson, Scotty Miller, Brandon Johnson, and Kushawn Williams all had their moments during preseason play. Miller, in particular, went from potential cut candidate to roster lock after strong showings in all 3 exhibition games. With the impressive summer from many of their depth playmakers, it's easy to believe that a true number 2 receiver may not be needed in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh Steelers can survive with a mix of players behind DK Metcalf. Receivers seemingly grow on trees nowadays in the NFL, and yet the Steelers failed to build a receiver group that has many reliable options this offseason. While the trade of Pickens made sense in some aspects, it no doubt puts the offense in a tough position. Now that many of the backups have shown much more promise than anyone could have expected, I believe that some combination of Austin 3 and Wilson can serve as a solid number 2 option at receiver. Even Scotty Miller looks like he can serve as a real contributor on offense after his outbursts this preseason. Don't get me wrong, it's not the ideal way to build a receiving depth chart. Having an experienced and productive player to pair with Metcalf would raise the ceiling of the offense. If any offense could manage without that, however, it's Arthur Smith's. Even before adding Jonas Smith in the Jalen Ramsey trade, Smith planned to lean on his tight ends in both the run and pass games. The Steelers used 2 and 3 tight end sets as much as any offense in the NFL in 2024, and they will rely on that even more in 2025. It remains to be seen exactly how Smith and Pat Freiermuth will be used, but one or both will see plenty of reps as a true slot receiver. That will help take the pressure off of players behind Metcalf, allowing them to settle in as the season moves along. If the running game can show up this year as well, after a down year in 2024, then this offense won't need a solidified number 2 receiver after all. The Pittsburgh Steelers may have swung a trade for DK Metcalf earlier this offseason, but after also moving George Pickens, they definitely need some help at wide receiver. Could the Las Vegas Raiders have the answer for them? Raiders wide receiver Jakobi Meyers requested a trade on Monday, which could open the door for the Steelers to make a move for the 28-year-old. In fact, Diana Rossini of The Athletic has already floated Pittsburgh as a potential landing spot for Meyers, who is entering the final year of his contract and is evidently not thrilled about the way negotiations have proceeded. Meyers would represent a fantastic addition for a Steelers squad that brought in Aaron Rodgers to man the quarterback position earlier this offseason. Outside of Metcalf, Pittsburgh lacks genuine proven talent at wideout, with Calvin Austin III and Roman Wilson comprising Rodgers' top ancillary options. Steelers quarterback Aaron Rodgers. Charlotte, North Carolina. August 21st. Aaron Rodgers, number 8 of the Pittsburgh Steelers, and head coach Mike Tomlin walk off the field after a NFL preseason 2025 game against the Carolina Panthers at Bank of More Logan Bowls / Getty Images. Meanwhile, Meyers caught 87 passes for 1,027 yards and 4 touchdowns last year and would instantly step into the number 2 receiver role behind Metcalf in Steel City. Of course, the question is whether or not the Steelers would be willing to pay the cost it would require to pry Meyers away from the Raiders. Las Vegas doesn't seem eager to move Meyers, which isn't surprising given the fact that the Raiders' situation at wide receiver is arguably even worse than Pittsburgh's once you get past Meyers. Taking that into consideration, the Steelers would probably have to overpay for the North Carolina State product, and they would also have to worry about signing him to a long-term extension as well. Remember, they just handed Metcalf a 5-year, $150 million deal, so Pittsburgh would probably be hesitant to strike a lucrative multi-year pact with Meyers. Still, given how the Steelers are obviously going for a Super Bowl this year, the prospect of adding Meyers may be tempting for them, even if it means they would only have him for one season.